Okay, hey there, my name is Jade and welcome to my space. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all of my current journals. I know I haven't posted a video in a very long time. This year has been a mess to say the least, but I'm finally getting my life somewhat together. So I want to show you like the journals that have been helping me keep me grounded and that I've been enjoying the most this year. So yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so the first notebook that I have to show you is my planner. I have the A6 Take a Note planner in my stripes Hobonichi cover. I believe this cover is from 2018, 2019 maybe. And then I have these two Sailor Moon patches on the cover. They're not ironed on yet, but I've had them on this cover since I bought this cover because these patches were kind of like the inspiration for me to get this cover at that time. But yeah, I'm using the A6 Take a Note planner. Just have some sticky notes that I don't use over here. And then I have this little clip these are the Midori clips, I think, to mark like what month it is, and this is in the wrong spot. But yeah, I will say, because this year has been a lot, and I'm still kind of like navigating my way through things, a majority of this planner is empty. And that's for two reasons. Reason number one, I believe I didn't get this planner until March because I follow Take a Note on Instagram and they had like a couple extra left in March. I started the year off with their A5 planner, but the A5 planner was way too big for me and just completely out of my means, and I've come to the conclusion that I'm not an A5 planner girly in any capacity. Just A5 is too big for me in terms of a planner. So I ended up getting the A6, I think around March-ish. And just because of the way my life has gone, I've been using this off and on since then. So a majority of this journal is like blank, or planner I mean. But I've been using it decently consistently since like last week. I'm working on like starting and building my own small business, and so this has just been helping me like keep track of tasks and whatnot. But essentially, if you've never seen the Take a Note planner, it's 2 days per page, and I prefer this over the Hobonichi because the 1 day per page I find very daunting when you're using it strictly for a planner. And because I'm using this strictly as a planner and I'm very much a to-do list type of person, I don't need all that space dedicated to 1 day and to like all my tasks. I think the 2 days per page is like the right size for me, and I can just put in a couple of tasks and go about my day. Like this is like the beginning of the week, so on the left hand side you have like the week at a glance, then you have Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? And yeah, like I said, because I strictly just put to-do lists in here, it's perfect for me and what I have to do. So like for this day, I just had 3 to-dos. I'm also chronically ill. I have sickle cell disease, if you know what that is. And to make a long story short, I'm in recovery for just the health issues that I've encountered this year, so that's why like my to-do lists are also kind of short. I don't have a lot of energy at the moment to be like exerting myself a whole bunch, so yeah, that's why like my to-do list is like very short. Like this one super short, this one super short, super short. But even still, like at the end of the day, that this is all what my planner would be in any capacity, in any planner. And I think the A6 Take a Note is just like the perfect size for me and just helps me get like straight to the point. I will say though, the only thing I don't like about because this is a Taiwanese planner, the only thing I don't like about I guess like planners like this and like Asian planners in general is the fact that like the months and the weeks are separated. I kind of wish that it was like month and then weeks and then month and then weeks. But you can only really get stuff like that from like traditional American, I guess, planner companies. And even then, like sometimes that's not like all the way true, So that's the only downside. I kind of wish that the months were integrated within, but at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal. I am thinking of getting this planner again for next year, but at the same time, I've forced myself to not worry about planning and planners in any of that BS until December. I am not making my mind up about shit until December because I think September is way too early to worry about next year for me personally. So yeah, anyways, that's the planner. And then I have the A6 Hobonichi pencil board. I think I got this last year because I did try to do a Hobonichi planner last year and that failed miserably and I don't want to talk about it. So that just sits in the back pocket, and I don't use it all the time. I use it as needed, but I like that it's there. And I will say, the Take a Note planner is really nice. You could do hourly planning, like time blocking if you want to do. The paper is really nice to write on, and it's also like a bit more monochromatic from all the other like Japanese planners that I've tried. Like I said, this is a Taiwanese planner, but I've tried like Hobonichi, the Jibun Techo, and I think like in like Traveler's Company planners, and those all have like very loud like pages and formats, and this is very like monotone and like monochromatic and like just straight to the point, which is something that I greatly appreciate. So yeah, that's my planner. That's like my only planner that I'm using at the moment. I'm not really like a multi-planner person. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just keep going. So the next thing that I have is my Traveler's Notebook. This is the limited edition olive cover that I bought secondhand off of eBay like 2 years ago maybe. Yeah, I think I got it in 2022. Yeah, so in 2022 I got this cover, but I started off the year with a black edition that I had also just bought myself. I think it was like a Christmas gift. And as you can see, baby girl's in not bad shape, but in worn shape, you know what I mean? But basically, I call her Frankenstein, or Frankie for short, but basically what happened was my nephew's dog got to this cover and to my black edition, and my black cover was in much worse shape than my olive. Like, yeah, that is a mess and super fucked up, but my black edition was really bad. I think my nephew's dog like ate up like all around here and like all in like the corners, and I think this was like the one corner that was unaffected, which was a very happy coincidence, but I still was upset to say the least. Yeah, this is my Traveler's Notebook cover. These two charms are Traveler's Company. This is a random bead. Also have a matching one down here. As you can see, I like stars. This I recently just made. This is a handmade ceramic pendant that has like my brand logo on it, and then I just beaded like a little keychain, if you will, and put it on here. I want to make more of these and sell them, but I'm getting ahead of myself. And then I also have this like Skeletor Live Laugh Love patch on my cover, but this journal specifically is like my everyday journal, and I'll show you like what I mean by that as we move along. But open it. I have a sticky pocket here that I don't really use, at least not at the moment, because my notebook is so big right now. And then I have in the back the sticker release book. This is the B-Sides and Rarities one, and it's filled with just a whole bunch of stickers and like washi tape samples and whatnot. Then I have this year's pencil board, the Traveler's Town pencil board, and then I have the secretarial pocket in the back. I think if you're getting into Traveler's Notebooks for the first time, the one accessory you should definitely have is this secretarial back pocket. It is such a must for me, and I have several other like Traveler's Notebooks, but not all of them have this like back pocket yet. And that's like the one thing that's hindering me from like constantly using them, is that they don't have this back pocket. I feel like this back pocket is so essential, and definitely like the number one thing you should get when you get like a Traveler's Notebook. Anyways, the next thing that I have is the Traveler's Company. I believe this is also the B-Sides and Rarities like pocket. I forget the proper name for this thing, but basically you have a pocket here. There's a whole bunch of stationery in there. Card holder pockets. These all have washi tape samples. And then in the back, we have like this zipper pocket that again has like more stickers and stuff. I used to have like a little folder that I kept right here that also had like stickers and ephemera, but it just got too bulky, so I had to take it out. That's why this spot is like empty. And then this little like pencil or like pen holder is, I believe it's by Midori. I don't remember the full name of it, so I'll leave it on the screen and try to link like one down below. But I bought these because I used to use the Hobonichi Weeks, and when I would use the Hobonichi Weeks, I would get the clear cover on top, and then I would get this pen loop to help keep my pen there, but also keep the cover closed. Because you know how like some notebooks have like a little band around them? Instead of using like a band to keep my Hobonichi Weeks closed, I used this thing. And I kind of have like the same thing going on here. And as much as I like it and I enjoy having a place to put my pen, I will say when this falls off, I'm not replacing it. I'm just going to move on and just like keep using it as is without the pen loop. And I think that's more so just because of it being like a sticky thing. If this was like plastic on plastic, I feel like it would be more sturdy, but because it's plastic on cloth, it's not as sturdy. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. And then we have my journal. This is my journal. I made it myself. It is a mixed paper journal, meaning that there's vellum, there's Kokuyo paper, there's tea-stained paper, there's tissue paper, there's all sorts of paper, all sorts of like recycled papers in here that make up like the pages. And like here's like what it looks like in the back, because I'm almost finished with this journal. But these are all papers, different papers that I've sourced. But here's kind of like what a blank one looks like. Not to plug myself, but I do want to flex a little that I do have these available on my Etsy shop, which will be linked in the description. Just saying. But yeah, so like this is like a cardstock cover. This is recycled paper. This is a piece of vellum. This is like Kokuyo paper. I forget the name of this type of paper. This is more like recycled paper. This is dot grid Tomo River paper, and it's dot grid on one side and blank on the other. Then we got like a paper doily, tea stained paper. This one has colored vellum. And yeah, I made these all myself. And I mentioned this once before, I believe, but I like using a journal like this over like a regular like lined or grid or blank notebook, because it forces me to be more creative with my spreads, if that makes sense. So I'll give you like a brief little flip through of my journal. But I started this back in February and then took a massive break, and then didn't start journaling in this again until I think about August. So but the reason why I like journals like this is because, like I said, it forces me to be a bit more creative with my spreads. Last year I journaled in a Traveler's Company grid notebook, and at a certain point all of my spreads just started looking the same. And because they started looking the same, it got very boring, and I think that's kind of like what prompted me to start this journal, because I think at the like very end of the notebook it wasn't like all the way full, but because of how each spread looked exactly the same, I just got bored with it and had to move on. But yeah, this is my current journal, and so far I'm really enjoying like how it's turning out. So, but this is more like a memory keeper. I have journaled about my feelings in here, and as much as I enjoy journaling about my feelings in here, it also kind of feels like a waste of space, because journaling about my feelings doesn't really give me the opportunity to like be as creative about my spreads as like memory keeping does. So I use this more so for memory keeping instead of like personal stuff. And then I have a new journal that I just started that's more dedicated to like personal stuff. But yeah, this is like more so what I would consider like my everyday journal. Next, we have my brown traveler's notebook. This was my first ever traveler's notebook. Still says Midori on the back. I bought this used. I think in 2020. This was my first ever traveler's notebook, and yeah. In here I just have two like commonplace books. One is dedicated to social media. I'm trying to get back into being more active on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. So this is like the place where I brainstorm all of my ideas and just, flesh out what I got going on. And then I have another notebook in here dedicated to shop notes. So this is all stuff dedicated to my small business and notes, product ideas, and whatnot. And that's pretty much it. Again, I have another pencil board in here. This is the 2022 Traveler's Cinema. I think that's what the collection was called. This one was my favorite because I'm a huge movie person, and I like the colors, I like the gold foiling, and I really like just the whole like movie theme that they did. I thought it was really cool. And then of course in the back I have the secretarial pocket. And that's all I keep in this notebook. I just go in here when I have like ideas and like need to do brainstorming and stuff, which is decently often, so that's why I have this here. But I do all my brainstorming and stuff in a traveler's notebook now because I feel like a traditional notebook is quote unquote too big for me now, which is something that I think about a lot because I've wasted a lot of like Leuchtturm notebooks on my ideas, and I don't know, I think a smaller, thinner notebook is easier for me to grapple with, and if I throw it away it doesn't feel like as much of a waste, which is why I'm now in like the traveler's notebook doing stuff like this. And I will say I wish I came to that conclusion a lot sooner because it would have saved me a lot of money, but girls are allowed to be dumb sometimes, you know what I mean? Anyways, here is my next journal. I literally started this yesterday and I really love how the cover turned out. I am not going to flip through this, but this is my new journal. It's called My Brain. These stickers here and these stickers here are part of my brand, and yeah, I love how they turned out. Then I have this quote on the front that says, "This lady on TikTok said it's important to develop strong self-beliefs so you don't internalize other people's opinions of you," and I think that's so true. You gotta be aware, intentional, and stand firm on who you are so much so no one can manipulate you. And like I said, this year's been a lot. The last 5 years honestly have been tumultuous in one way or another, and I haven't taken the time in the last 2-3 years to really process everything that's been going on in my life, and I feel like it's kind of emotionally stunted me, and I need to just get a lot of the anger and resentment that I feel out of my body. And so that's where this notebook is coming in. I was trying to do something similar to this in my A5 Take-A-Note planner. The only thing that was wrong with the A5 Take-A-Note is that the 2 days per page were too small for me to process everything that was going on. And I was trying to reconfigure that planner into a health journal as well, and that just wasn't working for me. I've been trying to figure out some sort of health journal for me for the last 2-3 years, and it's just not working. And I think I just need a space to where I can vent, but also healthily process the things that are going on in my life and not just let my emotions fly under the radar anymore. So that's why I have this new notebook, and I've already written in it. I wrote 3 pages last night, which is why I'm not showing you the inside. It's not going to be super decorative on the inside. It's mostly going to be writing, which is why I have this separate from my other journal, because they serve different purposes, one is about life and loving life and enjoying my life and remembering all the things that I've done, and then this is more so processing the good and the bad. So yeah, that's this one. It's a Midori A5 notebook. Aside from Traveler's Company and the Traveler size, the Midori A5 notebook is my all-time favorite notebook. I get the grid ones all the time. I really love the paper quality. The cream color is okay for me. I don't really mind the cream color anymore. At first I didn't like the cream color, but it is what it is, But it's got a really big grid, which I personally find useful because I do have bigger handwriting, and I feel this journal really accommodates my style and my personality. So yeah, favorite notebook out of all of them, and they're relatively inexpensive. This is only $10 off of Amazon, and sometimes you can get the cover, the clear cover for the notebook and the clear cover for $15 off of Amazon, and it's great. So love that. That's that. And then my final journal is a journal that I haven't touched in forever, but it's my movie journal. And for those of you who follow me on Instagram or have followed me for a very long time, you will know that I used to movie journal all the time, and I haven't movie journaled like the way that I've wanted to fully and all the time since like the end of 2020. The last like 4 years have been like really difficult, and I've had a hard time like making time for my hobbies, and my love for movies has fallen to the wayside. But yeah, like I started this in January last year, dedicated to my love for movies. This is what it looks like. This was supposed to be a spread dedicated to like my favorite characters. I don't like how this spread looks, but that's also my fault. So anyways, here are all the movies that I watched in 2023. I still need to fill out all the ratings, and I don't even know if I filled out like all of them, like all the movies in general. And then like the TV shows and animes that I watched, like that's a very short list, and that's literally all I watched last year. Then I have my Sailor Moon tracker, my Game of Thrones tracker. This I need to finish filling out. I started this more so this year. I started rewatching Game of Thrones back in May, and right now I'm technically still at the end of season 7. I haven't finished, and the only reason why I haven't finished is because I'm stressed out. And then I also need to add in season 2 of House of the Dragon here, but I made this spread last year with the intention of rewatching Game of Thrones last year, so yeah. And then we have my series tracker for the show Skins, and then I have this like master list of shows that I want to rewatch. A lot of these are majority Netflix originals, like All of Us Are Dead, Money Heist, Anne with an E, Sex Education, Baby, The Queen's Gambit, Trinkets, The Get Down, The OA, On My Block, like yeah. So, but the rest of the notebook at the current moment is completely blank. Half of the reason why this one is still blank is because I still kind of want to finish this one. This is like volume 2, and I think this one has like 2021 and 2022 mixed in there. So 2021, the movies that I rewatched, the shows that I watched, my Marvel watch list, which I didn't get to, my Studio Ghibli watch list I also didn't get to, my Sailor Moon watch list that I didn't get to, American Horror Story, Harry Potter, and then my 2022 movies, my movie rewatches, the shows that I watched, and then like so much of this journal is just like blank. Like there's so many like spreads that I still have to finish. There's still so many spreads that I have to like make in general. This is like one of the few completed spreads in this journal, and it's for Terminator 2. Best Terminator out of the entire franchise, I will say. I'm not gonna lie. Like Judas and the Black Messiah, Harry, Minari, like this movie was so freaking good, and I need to like rewatch it and finish the spread. Mad Max Fury Road, one of the few that's finished in this journal. Ooh, this is that zombie movie that I don't remember the name of. Speed Racer. Like Speed Racer is like my all-time favorite movie, and I need to finish this spread for it. Cruella, 13 Ghosts, like one of the few movies that I finished in here. Little Shop of Horrors, Train to Busan, and Nightmare on Elm Street. Another reason why I fell off with this is because in 2021 I got the B5 Archer and Olive Neapolitan notebook, and that threw me off bad because that notebook was huge, and mixed paper, which I really enjoyed, but it was just a massive notebook, and it being so massive and my life just getting in the way, I just fell off. And yeah, my brain has been stuck here trying to like finish this notebook, and so I think that's like one of the things that I want to do now that I'm like restarting my YouTube channel, is to make videos of me like finishing this journal so I can like keep myself accountable, and then once I finish this one I can finally move on to this one and like fill this one up as well, because I do love journaling about like movies and stuff. I will leave the flip through of this first one linked in the cards and in the description, but like look at that. My creativity was popping off, y'all. I love movies. Like, look at this. For Spirited Away, another one of like my all-time favorite movies. Like, this is good. Wow. Your girl was creative. American Beauty. I love this movie. I love this spread. Like, ooh, this did not age well. Pregnant. This one's ugly, but still. Like, look at that. My Jennifer's Body spread. This one did numbers on TikTok, y'all. My Scream spread. This one did numbers on Pinterest. I'm not gonna lie. Very proud of that the haunting hour blade, like look at the creativity. Hocus Pocus, like this journal, my movie journal specifically, like don't get me wrong, I love my memory keeping journals. They hold like a very special place in my heart. But this, y'all, oh my god, my Little Women spread, this did numbers on Pinterest and it's still doing numbers on Pinterest. Like look at it. It's just so nice. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Oh, I need to like get back to like this energy, you know, and just like keep like journaling about like the things that I love. So yeah, anyways, alrighty y'all, that is it. These are all of the journals that I'm currently using. Like I said, I'm not going to worry about my 2025 planners and journals until December because for me personally, it's not that big of a deal. Like I said, I also pretty certain I'm just going to use the A6 Take a Note Planner again next year because it works for me in the way that I need it to, and it doesn't feel like I'm wasting a lot of paper when I use it, even though I did waste most of this notebook. You guys know what I mean. But yeah, it took me a lot to get to this point though, I will say. It took a lot of consolidating because I did, especially like the last like 2 years, like I've gotten caught up in the over consumerism within the journaling community, and I'm not gonna speak on that too much. Y'all can do what you want, but for me personally, it's more so the money side of things that gives me like a sense of dread when I don't use what I buy. And that's why I'm saying like I'm not gonna worry about next year until December because that's going to cause less stress for me. This is what I'm using right now, and I'm happy with my choices. I'm happy with how things are looking, and I'm happy to be back journaling more often because I did take a very long break this year from like February to like August. And like when I say August, I want to say like mid-end August. So that's my video. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Stay gold. Love y'all. Bye.